hive. So, beehive location. Conventionally, this is Gardeners Beehive, and it's based on what happens in the wild, and bees in the wild, or in nature at least, prefer to live in hollow trees. Not in roofs, not in loft spaces, not behind the wall in the shed, not in beehives. Bees live in trees, hollow trees, and as such the most ideal spot is normally about 3 meters up in the air, in a dead tree, or on the edge of a forest line, looking out into a field, so they've got a nice clear path to fly in and out on. So what you're looking for is positioning one of these. This is the lowest that they'll tolerate, where they'll move in reliably. The key thing with these things is you want the bees to be able to move in on their own. So this is the lowest they will tolerate to the ground. So it has to be perceived to be at this height. If you start getting lots of bushes and things growing up underneath it, it then is perceived to be actually lower to the ground, which is not what you want. Once they've moved in, it doesn't really matter, but until then, you want the perception that it's actually elevated off the ground. Location, south-ish facing, so anywhere from between where the sun comes up to where the sun goes down. That sort of aspect is better than a northern aspect, looking in a northern direction. Other things that are good to have is you don't want the front of the hive to be disrupted by any hedges or bushes or anything. Quite often beekeepers will say, yep, have a fence in front of the hive that'll force them up and over. That's all fine and well if you've got a queen and you've cut her wings off and you're a beekeeper and the bees have to return back to the queen. However, if they can just leave, they will. So you need to keep the space in front of the hive for at least 3 to 5 meters, which is about 15 foot, open and clear in the front. It doesn't have to be perfectly manicured lawn, it just has to be open. The hive itself, however, can be like this, in this case into a tree, under a tree, into a bush. The roof that this hive comes with is the normal felt roof, that roof. If for whatever reason your hive is going to get exposed to wind, frost, snow, I recommend the additional fiberglass roof to be placed on top, and a bit of insulation placed underneath there of whatever you prefer. You can either put wool or chop strand, newspaper or whatever underneath there, just to give them a bit of additional insulation from any frost or snow that might be sitting on top. And also, if it's exposed to a lot of sunlight, it also needs to have a bit of more roof to keep it cool in summer. Realizing this is a tree stump, it's a tree stump, it's not a beehive. It needs to be in the shade, under a tree, out of the way somewhere, in a hedge. Think tree stump. Thank you.